It's not just an ordinary Tuesday. Welcome to Terrier Tuesdays, the show where you can get to know some of Boston University's best and brightest student athletes.
Welcome to another episode of Terrier Tuesdays. My name is Scott Ellis, and I'm joined by men's tennis alum and assistant coach Jesse Frieder. Jesse, how's the fall going for you and with the team?
Good morning. Yeah, the fall has definitely been an adjustment. Many of our international players opted to stay home, so practice was certainly smaller than normal, but a small but mighty group. Very proud of the players that came to campus. They were really dedicated in practice and in lift, and we've been in pretty consistent contact with our players at home, and they've also been playing a ton, if not more than the players that were on campus. So it's been great to see our team's level of dedication, and even for the players that have been on campus, it's been great to have a smaller group and have more individualized attention and feedback for them.
And overall for you and Dan, I mean, what goals have you set for the guys that are on campus this fall?
Yeah, so I think, for the players specifically on campus, we worked a lot on technique and on point construction and on trying to increase fitness in the gym. We knew that we weren't going to be competing this fall, so I think we had a little bit more liberty to push the envelope and really make some major changes in their games. So that's been really exciting. And for the players who aren't, who weren't able to come to campus, we just encouraged them to play as much as they possibly can, and checked in with them individually just to kind of monitor their progress and check in on academics, and still also have like all team calls, to build some positive team culture, even in this remote world.
Right. And going into your life now, I mean, did you play any other sports growing up, and what led you to pursue tennis?
So I certainly tried other sports. I don't think I was terribly successful. I think my parents were looking for something that I could in fact be good at. So my dad introduced me to tennis, and we kind of picked it up together. We ended up taking lessons from the same coaches. We practiced outside of those sessions together, and kind of like got better as the other got better, and took me to all the tournaments and came to tons of matches in college, and is still like an incredible source of support for our team today, and plays a pivotal role even as I've transitioned to coaching.
Right. And what did you enjoy most about your time as a student at BU?
How much time do you have? Many things. I think what comes to mind first is I loved my teammates, and I loved playing college tennis in general. I mean, it was a dream of mine since I was young. I wanted to play college tennis at the highest level I could, and it was a dream to make that happen. So many experiences on the road, playing great teams, ridiculous conversations in the van, just endless memories that have led to like incredible friendships beyond college. I lived with my doubles partner, Emilio Turan, until recently, so the team is very much apparent in my life. And I also loved living in the city of Boston with friends that went to other schools, and internships and job opportunities. And I mean, I love the city so much I haven't left.
Right. And one thing I do find interesting is both you and women's soccer alum Emma Clark, y'all both won the Aldo Buff Donnelly Award at the same time for excellence in leadership. That's awarded every 2 years from the Hall of Fame committee. And both of y'all became coaches because y'all got it after you graduate, or right when you were graduating. And is that just a coincidence? I mean, how did y'all both become coaches, especially for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to credit some timing. I think Dan became our head coach right when I graduated, and there was an opportunity to join. So definitely some serendipity there. But I've also been coaching and have loved teaching for forever. You know, I started my own summer camp, my own tennis summer camp when I was 14. So teaching tennis is something I've always loved doing. And then when I graduated from college, I became a middle school math teacher. So I think the idea of investing in other people and helping them to develop whatever skill they want to, whether that's sixth grade math or a heavier inside out forehand. I think I'm here for all of it. Yeah, and the opportunity to like develop incredibly talented 18 to 22-year-olds as a part of the program that I played for has been the dream.
Right. And I mean, how did you become passionate about education? And what kind of work are you doing right now at One Goal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I became passionate about education. I took a number of sociology classes in college and kind of learned much more about the inequities that really plague our society. And also that gave me an opportunity to reflect on the own privileges I had growing up with incredible access to education, and just kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to play a role in making society more equitable for all people. And that if we were going to pull any one lever to make that happen, that education was the most powerful lever I could come up with. And since then, I've had a number of different roles working in education, specifically as a teacher, but then in my role now at One Goal, working to expand access to strong post-secondary opportunities for students from low-income backgrounds, and encouraging their persistence at those institutions so that they can hopefully graduate with a degree in their hand and set themselves up to earn exponentially more money throughout the course of their lives, and hopefully enjoy a much more comfortable lifestyle.
Right. And I know obviously you're passionate about education in your current job, but then obviously you're an assistant coach with men's tennis. I know you're passionate about BU and the sport of tennis. I mean, for advice for people, how do you balance both? How do you set your schedule? I mean, obviously you're very busy.
I love being busy, so that helps. I think I've been really fortunate in my career to have found two things that I love unconditionally and that truly feel like a privilege to do every day. Coaching is so much fun, and I love building relationships with our players, and I love making them better, and I love traveling with them and competing and continuing to improve this program. And then I also feel a real personal sense of obligation to make our world more equitable, and the opportunity to do that alongside incredibly smart, incredibly passionate people, both at Teach for America and One Goal, has been incredible. So certainly I'm busy, and certainly I've gotten much better at action planning and scheduling my time and making sure that I use nights and weekends to my advantage. But most of the time it does not feel like work.
Right. No, that's great that you're able to figure it out and to find things that you are very passionate about. And I mean, for you, you mentioned you were basically able to make that easy transition from being a student athlete to a coach, and you've been working with Dan the whole time. I mean, what's that relationship been like?
Terrible. No, it's been great. I think yeah, Dan and I have become incredible friends over the years. I think one of the things that really bonds us together is that we have an incredibly strong personal friendship that has nothing to do with the team. And I think that has been essential to our success with the team. We make sure to check in about each other's families, about each other's personal lives every time on every call before we talk about the team. So I think the foundation of a strong personal relationship has been great. Many hilarious moments on recruiting trips and trips with the team, and just countless memories. So that's been great. And then I think he and I have also done a really good job of balancing our professional relationship. He also has a number of other responsibilities and 3 young children. So I think we've done a good job of dividing up all of the responsibilities that we have to run this team and to continue to build this program. And yeah, I think we've done a good job of dividing all of them up, but also continuing to hold the bar really high for one another, despite not always having all of the time that we might want.
Right. And speaking of like kind of building the program and setting that bar high, excuse me. Tennisrecruiting.net, a site that tracks recruiting for probably the last 2 decades. I've noticed over the past few years, the recruiting rankings for your program have really risen. And I'm curious, like, what do you credit that to? Is it a way that you and Dan have approached recruiting? Is there something going on at BU that has really helped you be able to recruit higher caliber student athletes? And basically, what's been the key to success for you guys in building the program?
Once again, how much time do you have? I think, first of all, we have to give incredible credit to the school. Boston University is a fantastic institution in a world-class city. It is not a difficult sell, and I think the academic caliber of the school has really risen in the past 5 to 10 years, and we in athletics benefit from that. So that's been great. I think specifically from the perspective of the tennis program, we've made a number of very intentional changes to the way that we recruit. Not in any particular order, but we've invested a lot more in traveling. So Dan and I go to many more tournaments to see players play, to individually recruit them, which informs obviously the players that we recruit, but also just walking around in like BU tennis gear at these tournaments where all of our competition was like a first 4 or 5 years ago when we started doing that. So that has helped really put our program on the map, which has helped improve the quality of our schedule, but also improved our brand awareness amongst recruits. So that's been one thing. We've also done a ton of networking with coaches and academies all around the world. So I think our Rolodex, so to speak, of contacts and potential pools of talent has really grown. I think we've done a much better job of like tracking interactions with recruits and making sure that they have a fairly standard experience with us, including like conversations with me, visits, seeing them play, having the opportunity to connect with their families. And then I think the last, and also checking tennisrecruiting.com incessantly to see who is clicking on our page, because a warm lead is a warm lead, right? And then I think lastly, Dan and I have done a really good job of like distilling what are the value adds of our program. So of course we can talk about the institution. We are both alums, but I think we've done a really good job about what differentiates our program in particular from other programs in terms of player development, in terms of the strength of schedule, in terms of our emphasis on culture and really competing as a team and being a family. I think all of those things have contributed to finding both a higher ranked player, but also a player who is truly a fit for our program, who's going to come in, be successful, and be happy, because ultimately we want them to be happy here.
Right. And you mentioned about being able to travel more, and then obviously provide a first class experience for the student athletes. And certainly a key ability to do that is because of the support of alums. And I've been able to talk with alums, especially from the 80s and 90s, who had a lot of success winning conference titles. I know how proud they are of the program and to able to support your efforts. And can you just talk about that, how important their support is to help the profile of the program?
They are invaluable. I think what we have been able to do in the past 6 years to build the program, a huge percentage of that is not possible without the support of alumni. I think Dan has done an incredible job of building individual relationships with almost all of our engaged alumni. That has led to so many incredible opportunities. I mean, we've been able to, as you said, we've been able to travel more for recruiting. We've been able to increase the competitiveness of our schedule and play the University of Michigan, our first top 5 team in the past 10 years. They are invaluable, and we certainly appreciate and rely on annual giving, and are thrilled that 100% of young alumni gave in this most recent drive, and that 25% of our overall alumni base gave. Like, that is astounding engagement. And we also appreciate folks like John Lamandola and Pat Ganelli, who have made leadership level gifts, investing truly in the future of the program. All of the strategies that Dan and I have come up with in terms of recruiting and scheduling and improving the player experience are great, and they're not possible without a really strong, engaged alumni base. And we are forever grateful.
Right. And one final question. Obviously, you're a very busy person. What do you like to do outside of teaching and working with tennis?
I probably spent more time brainstorming this question than any other, because I really failed to come up with something strong. I love playing tennis myself. I don't get to play tennis all that much because I'm normally watching it or working to improve our program behind the scenes. So there are actually a couple of really involved, awesome BU alumni that live here in Boston that I play with pretty regularly. And then, as hard as it may be to believe, one of my favorite things to do is travel and watch professional tennis. So when I'm not watching the awesome team compete, I really love getting on a plane and discovering a new place and watching the greats.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Jesse, and I know I'll see you on the court soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to Terrier Tuesdays. Give us a follow on our social media accounts at BU Athletics on Twitter and Instagram for more content.